If the pumps stop, Amsterdam disappears. Not metaphorically, not economically, physically. Large parts of this city sit below sea level. Without constant control, water would slowly reclaim the land. The North Sea does not need to invade. It only needs permission. On a flat map, Amsterdam looks ordinary, a coastal European capital connected by rivers and trade routes. But change the map to elevation, and the illusion fades. Much of the western Netherlands lies lower than the ocean beside it. Amsterdam was not built on solid ground. It began in marshland, peat, mud, unstable soil. Its name comes from a dam built on the Amstel River. A barrier, a defensive structure, not a palace, not a fortress, a dam. From the beginning, survival meant engineering. The Dutch did something unusual. They did not retreat from water, they pushed it back. They built dikes, long earthen walls that held the sea in place. They drained lakes. They reclaimed land. They created polders, areas that exist only because pumps remove water continuously. A polder is not natural terrain, it is negotiated terrain. Stop pumping and the water returns. Amsterdam stands inside this system, but holding back the sea was only half the problem. The ground itself was unstable. Soft peat compresses over time. Buildings sink, streets tilt. The solution was not to move the city, the solution was to anchor it. Underneath Amsterdam lies a hidden forest, millions of wooden piles driven deep into the soil until they reach stable sand layers below. Every historic canal house stands on timber columns. Entire neighborhoods rest on wood. As long as those piles remain submerged, they do not rot. Lower the water table and the foundations begin to decay. Even the stability of the city depends on water. Today, Amsterdam is not protected by a single wall. It is protected by a network: dikes, sluices, canals, pumping stations, storm surge barriers. Water levels are monitored and adjusted daily. The canals are not decorative, they are infrastructure. This city functions like a hydraulic machine. When storms threaten the coast, massive barriers close. When rainfall increases, pumps activate. When rivers rise, channels redirect flow. There was a moment when the system nearly failed. In 1953, a catastrophic storm surge struck the Netherlands. Thousands died. It was not simply a weather event. It was a reminder that geography does not forgive complacency. The response was not retreat. It was reinforcement. The Delta Works, like one of the largest flood defense systems in the world, expanded the protective network. Movable sea gates, reinforced dams, redesigned coastlines. The country committed itself to engineering on a national scale. And yet, even now, the struggle continues. Amsterdam is slowly sinking, not dramatically, not visibly, millimeters each year. The weight of buildings compresses soft soil. Climate change raises sea levels incrementally. The threat is not sudden collapse. It is gradual pressure. Walk through Amsterdam today and you see bicycles crossing narrow bridges, reflections in canals, leaning houses from centuries past. The city feels permanent. But permanence here is maintenance. The silence of the streets hides motion beneath them. Pumps hum. Gates open and close. Water levels shift by centimeters. The balance is recalculated daily. Amsterdam does not defeat water once. It manages water continuously. For centuries, the city has expanded, not because it was safe, but because the system held. Land was added. Districts grew outward. Canals extended in rings. Every new neighborhood was an act of controlled defiance. Amsterdam should not exist in its current form. Geography did not design it. Engineering did. And as long as the machine keeps running, the city remains. For centuries, Amsterdam kept pushing water back. Now, watch how it grew.